Hi guys, welcome to today's video. In today's video, we'll be looking at how the Ukraine war will end. This is approximately the front line, and that is approximately Russia's claims. And as you can see, it's not really even close to that. I'll leave that line there, but there's one way it's probably going to end. Probably. So Ukraine is doing a southern offensive, but it's not going far. But another thing that didn't go far was the Kherson offensive when they went to the Kharkiv offensive. So could this mean they're actually trying to attack, planning on going to the north to do an offensive like in Luhansk or Donetsk? That would make sense for some reason. It just seems like it's really great if they could be trying to get Russia's forces in the south so they can strike in the north, which would be something. They're hardly, most likely, I don't think they're going to attack this way because it just doesn't make sense. They are to attack somewhere, it's probably around here if they want to get gains, or up here. They might attack here, it's really hard to say. Although still focusing down in the south. That's one way they could be planning. But another thing they could be doing is actually invading the south. Or maybe they'll do that. Who knows? With their new munitions or clusters, which are so great. Yep, for them probably. Who knows? But I think that when it gets close to Russian territory, the offensives to where Russia's had since 2014 will be really hard to invade due to the fact as well, but I think they can still take it. But Crimea is where the question lies, as it's really narrow to get in, which makes something really defendable. So, like, any country, like, how about Vietnam? Let's see how this is defendable. It's skinny, right? It may seem like easy to invade because it's skinny, but what you're missing is the fact it's long. And since it's skinny, if you want to get to the north through Vietnam, you'd have to funnel all of your troops up here, making it easy to defend. Not as small as, say, Crimea, but anywhere that's narrower, it's easier to defend. Or where it's ocean surrounded is easy to defend, like Britain. Or let's say Crimea is pretty well defended. Ukraine has good geography, but bad geography. Kind of has mountains protected from Hungary, thinking they own parts of its land, even though Hungary can't really do anything to them. So, yeah. And with Russia's probably at this point going to send more troops after having anger problems. And by now, Ukraine, this would probably take at least a couple of months, maybe less. Who knows? Because it depends on if they only focus on one spot, if Russia's able to be routed because they move troops enough out. But it also depends on the Russian will to fight, too. And another thing about Crimea is Russia, when they invaded in 2014, or the first invasion of Ukraine, followed by a few more, well, they kind of took Crimea, but then they flooded it with Russian people, which is not right, but happened, forcing moving their people. If Putin upset probably at this point, very upset. And then the Wagner comes and takes over. No. Well, maybe, who knows. But yeah. And then in the north, they continue their offensive. If they start a northern offensive, but I'd say they'll get about this much land, most likely, out of a northern offensive before they'll go back to their southern offensive like they did in Kherson and Kharkiv. Not too far apart. They'd probably wait a while. Russia saying, oh, we're winning and stuff, probably. And Belarus being like, really, Russia? Obviously, people... And then Russia being like, okay, it's time to nuke. Oh, wait, they bluff that too much. Or is it a bluff? Who knows? I guess it is. They say it enough. But is it? Who knows? But then again, China says no to nukes. I mean, there's probably somebody who would say yes to it, but not me. Too much damage. But, for example, what if Russia did nuke Kiev? Well, what is this? Oh, this is from our... Remember the draft one? What is this even doing as a layer? I don't even know. But yeah, let's go back. Okay, Ukraine and Russia obviously aren't teammates. Duh. But let's say, for example, Putin loses his mind, which probably could happen. And this strategic thing lands in Kiev. Nobody knows what it is. NATO says, Russia, explain yourself. China backs away from Russian support completely. The world asks for answers. They say no. The U.S. and its allies ends up turning the world blue, guys. No, the U.S. and its allies would probably get involved. Oh, would Canada be able to do anything? No, but would they join? Yes, because they always do what America does. Poland would probably react. And there we have the West losing it. And that's what if Russia drops a no-no bomb. But would they drop a nuclear bomb? Who even knows? Well, they'd probably justify it somehow. 100%, because that's what politics is. Oh, wait, this would be nothing bad. Could possibly ever happen with Ireland. Like, okay, we'll join you. Just for the moment. And yeah, just like that, Russia ended up in big trouble. And that's why Russia surely wouldn't use nukes, right, guys? But Belarus would be like, hey, Russia, that was a nice move. And yeah, as you can see, if Russia does that, nobody will be nice to them. Especially the West. Everybody will turn on them. And that's why you should not do anything like that. Got it, Russia. Let's see. So yeah, as we know, that's not going to happen. Probably, maybe, hopefully, whatever. I don't think it'll happen. But if it did, for example, that probably what would happen. Did Australia even get involved yet? Oof. But yeah. Let's see. But this can't happen. And after we see how it'll end, most likely. Could they get Crimea back? Probably. But at this point, Russia's exhausted of war. People completely lose the will to fight. Putin disappears. The Russian southern front collapses. And all that's left is Luhansk, Donetsk, and Kherson. But Kherson is fun. As they start pushing in, they somehow get across the river and come from the north. That's most likely what would happen, probably. I don't think they would probably come around the river, not cross it, most likely. But they could. With now the hard part is coming. Now Ukraine waits till a good time so they can get into Crimea. After huge losses, they could get into Crimea. If they did, it would be bloody. And plus, Russia would probably have a lot of resistance put up, as there's lots of Russian people here. And when you get invaded, you change your mind on the whole situation. And yeah, we'll just say, yeah, they somehow managed to take all their lands back. But let's look. What are some options that could happen at the treaty? We'll probably use multiple maps. But if Russia is lucky, they would get the Donbass. If Russia's lucky, this would be the border. If Russia got the land claimed as its annexed territory, It would look something like this. So it'd be a pretty big territorial change. Let's see, this could happen. This could happen. Could have been one if Ukraine wasn't lucky, which I doubt will happen. That one can't at this point. Or this could be a possible outcome of the war. Could have been out like this. Because at the beginning it kind of looked like this would happen, but now we can see it won't happen. At some point, not at the beginning. You want to see what it would look like if they took the Dnipro? Like, I think they probably would have. They probably wanted to take up to here at least and puppet Ukraine. What I think. But yeah, that never came to pass. Or when they retreated, it looked lots different. Or maybe this could have happened. It looked like this could have happened, like, throughout the war, but at this point we know it's not going to happen. And we definitely know were never able to annex at all, which started to look likely after they withdrawed from the north, which was basically this. At the beginning of the war, this kind of looked possible, like after they withdrawed from the north. But let's say a ceasefire happened right now and they stopped fighting forever. And it became like the Chinese Civil War. Ukraine could never join NATO in that case, but I think they will after. If they got what it kind of looks like now, yeah, they would get that. The Donbass one we saw, the Donbass only treaty. But yeah, we're still at with Crimea. They still keep Crimea, but they only keep their post-2014 borders. They would kind of look like that. Maybe they'll lose Crimea and keep this. That's a treaty. Keep Crimea, lose that. Now let's see. Ukraine keeps all of its territory, kicks the Russians out. Let's go even further than that. Ukraine takes land down here. And the Ukrainian Empire comes. Or this. Or the reverse Soviet Union card. Or Ukraine is so good that they become a world power and they form the Ukrainian Republic of Ukrainian Republic. United Ukrainian Republics. And what even is that, you may be wondering? Ukraine reforms the Soviet Union under Ukrainian leadership, and it's democratic, shocker. And Finland and Poland join, because why not? And the world fears Ukraine. And Ukraine takes out Iran for not supporting them well enough. And they then had to take out Hungary because they can. And so that's what the Ukrainian Soviet Union looks like. And so as we know, this ending's not going to happen. I think the most likely ending is either Russia keeps Crimea or Ukraine reliberates all their land skies from before 2014 and go back to Ukraine. So yeah. Please like and subscribe and comment on this video. What's your opinion? How do you think it'll end? Do you think my predictions are good enough? Or do you think they're wrong? But keep in mind, this is just a prediction. This is not me telling the future, because obviously I don't know the future. The future is undecided, but you can choose what your future feels like. So yeah, choose wisely. And that's all for today's video. Wild Mapper out. Please like, subscribe, comment, and tell me, is the Ukrainian Soviet Republic a possibility? In the comments box. That's all for today's video. Wild Mapper out. But not until you subscribe.